Well, hey everybody, Backyard Scrapping here, and welcome to part 7 of our refine. I just came out back. It rained all day yesterday. We got a break today for a little bit, but it's supposed to be rainy all week, so I want to come out and I wanted to get out here while it wasn't raining, and I could use my burner out there and do these, get these processors burned off. Excuse my owl, but I don't know if you can see that finger, but it is blown up like a balloon and I can barely move it. Apparently you don't just get gout in your feet, you can actually get it in any joint that's weak. So that's what's going on here. I can barely touch or move my left hand because even if I do something with these fingers, it hurts this one really bad. And I'm not patting myself on the back, but I do have a bad back. I have bone spurs and stenosis, and I can't take anything for that because I'm on a blood thinner. And I also, a lot of you know that I pull my own teeth and make my own dentures. So as far as pain goes, I think I have a fairly good tolerance, but I'm going to tell you what, don't ever make fun or make light of gout. This frickin' hurts, and I mean it frickin' hurts. So anyway, I'm going to be trying to do things out here with just my right hand, so I'm not going to be messing with the camera loose too much. I'm going to put it on the stand. I want to go ahead and show you. I swirled this up a second ago. I can't even hold the camera to swirl it up or pick up the beaker to swirl it up, and I don't want to try it and drop it. But our foils are coming loose. I think it was JRA Cat in the comments, said if they don't break loose, just put them on some heat, which is exactly what I'm going to do if they are not done by the time I'm ready for them. But it appears they're slowly but surely busting loose, and even the ones that were tied up and tight like that one, they're even starting to boil up a little bit. So, and there is our concentrates from our BGAs, and once again our beautiful beaker bottom full of gold foils. Anyhow, enough babbling. I'm going to get that iron pot out. I'm going to dump these guys in it, and I'm going to put them on the burner and get them burned off out here, and then we're going to put them in aqua regia. In the meantime, I may actually go ahead and, well, maybe not, it just depends. I'm pretty sure these foils are ready to be cleaned out of here. I just don't know how well I'll be able to do it with one hand. It's kind of funny, but I remember my dad on his 90th birthday, I'm going to lighten it up a little from the way he said it, but he said getting old wasn't for wusses, but he said it in other terms. Well, I'm going to tell you what, he was absolutely right. These so-called golden years, they're golden, all right. Okay, guys, I'm going to quit complaining. I'm going to get this thing on the stand if I can, and get these processors going. So we'll be back at you in a bit. Okay, guys, I actually decided I'm just going to use my chip burning pot because it is thinner, so it will get hot faster. But right now I've got it just turned upside down over the burner. I'm going to let it go for a while and see if I can burn off some of that plastic on the inside, and then we will do our ceramics in it. So I'm going to try and beat the rain, but it is coming, and we're supposed to have it the rest of the week. So hopefully I'll be able to get this done where we can at least work in the lab if it's raining. Alright, I'll get back at y'all in just a bit. I've got the camera on the stand and I'm walking around with it, holding it with my right hand. But I think too, while I'm waiting on that, I'm going to go ahead and take these down and pick through them and get the ones out that the foils are off of. Give them a little more room. So we will be back in a little bit. Okay guys, we got it cleaned out pretty good. I got this up here so you can see. We're just going to let that burn for a while now. Just let them all get really good and hot. I can see some little whiffs of smoke coming off of them, so there is some stuff on them. But we're just going to let them go. I'm going to let them go for a while and let them clean up. Heat is a wonderful thing, but you got to be careful with it. Alright, I'm going to go and take a look at these plates and see which ones I can take out of here. And we'll be back at you guys in a little while. Okay guys, just popping back in for a second to show you that there is some smoke coming off of those. So there is something on them, grease or coating of some sort. But in that last big batch of Intels I did, I normally do this. I burn them off, or I burn them off with a torch under a lot of heat. And with those Intels, I actually just put them in my little silver drying oven, a little old toaster oven. And I ended up with a bunch of, I mean, we had a hard time filtering that stuff. So I'm going back to, from now on, just doing it like this, either burning them with a torch or putting them in the pot and burning them off. Because you can see, I mean, these things look brand new. They were very, very clean. In fact, I don't think I've ever done processors that were so clean. But obviously there is something on them because you can see it burning off. So I'm going to get back to separating out my little plates that don't have any gold left on them. And I'm just going to let this go until I don't see any smoke coming off of it anymore. And that should tell us that they're clean. So we'll be back in a little while. Okay guys, I am not seeing any more smoke come off of this. I'm going to keep the camera back a little bit. It's pretty hot. This one-handed camera stuff is not fun. I'm going to go ahead and get a shot in here and see where we're at. Got 388, 431, and 349. So I'm going to let it go about another 10 or 15 minutes. Like I said, I'm not seeing any smoke, so then we'll cut it off and just let it cool off. So we'll be back in a little bit. Oh, real quick, let me show you where we're at with this. I think more than half of them are off. Got a little bit in that little beaker behind the bigger one. Those are all the plates that are clean. So I'm going to just continue doing that, and I've only got a few more to go in here, and we're going to be almost done with that. So we're getting real close to hitting aqua regia on a bunch of stuff. So anyway, let me let those chips finish up and we'll be back. Okay, our processors are cooling off. I'm not going to fool with them anymore today. And I have got about, I don't know, 2/3, maybe more of the plates are clean. This is really gorgeous. That the foils, it actually looks like a beaker. It's like the bottom of the beaker is covered with nuggets, little nuggets of gold. But it's actually just the foils, and they're suspended in a little bit of water. But we did get some good foils off of them, so we're gonna let these go for another day, maybe two, and they should be all completely stripped off like those are. So guys, I have got to go in. I don't know if you can see that, but that thing is like ready to pop. I'm waiting for my doctor to call me back to see what I need to do. And I'll tell you what, if you ever had something hurt, this is it. So I'm going to go in and just take the rest of the day off. So we'll try and get back out here tomorrow or the next day, depending on my finger. So we'll see you then. Well, hey everybody, it's the next day. I just wanted to show you right quick what we're doing. I'm not going to do that much today. I have some errands to run. My finger is getting better. The doctor gave me some stuff so at least I can move it without extreme pain. But anyway, like I said, that's nothing to make fun of. I mean, I don't think I've ever really had it before, and it was very interesting. Anyhow, so I've put some nitric acid in these to eat up the base metals. I was going to just do AP, but I want to get this done because I'm getting everything real close to aqua regia. These are almost done. I mean, a couple of them like that one have a little bit stuck on them, but I spun them around and mostly it's all loose now. So those will end up in this. And the last thing I have to do as far as preparation goes is we have to clean out those fingers, the excess or the rest of the fingers that had a little bit stuck to them, which I checked, and those are ready to do. And then we're just going to put this in a bucket and put it in aqua regia. So we'll probably, like I said, I've got some errands to do today, so tomorrow I'm probably going to get out here, and that'll be the first thing I do is go ahead and get these in aqua regia and get them going. So I guess we'll see you back out here tomorrow. So that's where we're at right now today. Ebony, quit trying to trip me, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Well, okay, everybody, it is, I think the next day. It might be the next day after the next day. Anyway, it is raining. Like I said, we were going to have rain all week. Or it was raining. It has stopped for a little while, which is going to give me an opportunity to do this. What we've got is I've got our ceramics in a 5-gallon bucket. They're cleaned and ready to go. So I'm going to actually take them out next to the table out there, or next to the burner in that open spot, and we are going to put some aqua regia in them. Now normally I don't pre-mix my aqua regia, and I'm not going to this time either, because sometimes you can save a little nitric acid. It's going to take about 2,600 milliliters of fluid to cover these guys in the bottom of this bucket, and so I'm going to try and get away with 500 mils of nitric. So what I'll do is cover these with basically almost or nearly cover them with hydrochloric acid, and then I'm going to pour in the nitric a little at a time. A lot of people pre-mix it and warm it and do it. I'm not going to do that. I may warm it up a little, but I'm not going to pre-mix it. So let me get this set up, get my nitric poured, and see if I can get these acids warming up a little bit, and we're going to get on it. I'm going to clean up over here a little more. I think our plates are done, so I'll be able to pick those out and then add those foils to those. While the rest of this is going on, I'll clean out those foils and add them to that bad boy right there. So I've already got these in nitric acid cleaning up. I'm going to stir them, check them, and add a few more drops of nitric, see if we get any reactions. We look like we've cleaned them out pretty good, but it is very packed tight in there, so they do need to be stirred up and and checked. So anyway, let me get this acid going, and we'll be back at you. Okay guys, well, I got everything set up. I know it's going to take me about, I guess, 2,600 milliliters of fluid to cover these, but it has already started drizzling again out here, so I can no longer put it out on that table. So I'm going to have to do it right here. This is a pretty level spot, and I'm just going to have to keep the back fan blowing on it for the fumes. So let me get my acids measured out, and we'll be back. Okay guys, this is what I had to come up with in order for you guys to see what I'm doing. You're going to have to excuse the fan noise, but I'm going to have to keep this blowing out. The rain is starting again, so I've got to get it going that way. I'm actually thinking about even doing something a little different. If I can get one of my crates out and get this fan up a little bit higher. I'd rather blow it straight than up because I don't want it swirling back in. So let me try that for just a second. I'll be right back. Okay guys, I've got the fan up higher. I'm actually going to wait because this rain is bringing a little wind with it, and it's actually blowing in here into the shop or into the lab. So I'm just going to hold off for a little bit, see if this settles down. If not, I'm just going to have to do something else because I don't want these fumes coming back in here or coming back at me. I want them going out there. And this is like I said, a 5-gallon bucket. We've got a couple of kilos of stuff in there, so it's going to take a lot of acid. So anyway, let me see what happens over the next few minutes, and I'll make a decision. Okay guys, well the fan seems to be doing the trick. I'm right behind it and I'm not getting anything back at me, so I'm going to go ahead and start adding this nitric slowly, and we're going to get this underway. That is about half of our nitric. If we start getting any reaction, it's not as hot as I wanted it to be, but like I said, I got to be careful with this wind. I don't want it turning things around on me. So I'm going to give that a few minutes, and then I'm going to add some more nitric to it, and we'll be back. Okay guys, I don't know how well you can see it, but we are getting a reaction. We're getting a lot of color already. So I'm going to just hold that other 250 mils of nitric for now, and I'm going to just let this booger go. So I'll show you something else when I've got something to show you. I'm going to actually work on these little plates now. So we'll be back in a bit. Okay guys, as you can see, we have opted out of all of the having the bucket in here with the fan on it. There's just too much wind change going on, and it's, to me, as far as I'm concerned, it wouldn't have been safe to leave it like that. So I actually moved it out into the open air, out on the table, and I have a lid on it to keep the rain out of it because it's just stopped again. So I can walk out here real quick, and I've got my mask off right now, but I actually had it on for a while in here, but it was just, I don't know, I just felt more comfortable moving it out here. So I took it off so you could hear me. I'm going to just hold my breath, show you what's going on, and we're going to back up again. So that's where we're at. We're getting a decent reaction, and I'm just going to let it play out till it doesn't do anything, see if I have to add the rest of this nitric. Meanwhile, I'm going to get back to these guys. Well guys, because of the wind situation, I actually even moved this further out into the yard. We're getting a really good reaction. I only used half of my nitric. So I just wanted to show you that. I'm going to go back in and continue working on the foils. So we're going good right now. Everything's going as planned. So we'll come back out in about a half an hour and we'll check it again, see how it's doing, and we'll be back then. Okay guys, this is where we are right now. That is the majority of our foils off of the plates. I actually have them on the heat. Pretty much the only place that is stuck on what is left of them, because most of them are right here in this. So about what's stuck is where the ceramic was still, you know, when I broke this, when we were popping them off, and the little bits of ceramic that were stuck to the metal still actually were holding, you know, little bits of gold. So I'm just going to heat that up in there, try and get that stuff broke loose, get those out. It has started raining again. I've moved our bucket back up here because the majority of it's done. I am going to leave it overnight. I was going to do the other foils, but I'm actually getting a little tired right now, so I'm probably going to go in. So far, we haven't disposed of anything. I did decant the nitric off of these. I am going to rinse them before I go in, but that's a procedure you've seen me do many times. Rinsing is just long and boring. So I'm going to boil some water up. As soon as this gets done, I can't do it right now because if you see, my little other burner exploded. So it's, I only got one burner left on there, and I don't expect this one to last long. The acid fumes eat these boogers alive, so, whoa. And that's what you don't want to have happen. I guess that takes care of that burner. Okay guys, so you can see that the cleanup from our mishap is done. About 15 gallons of baking soda water and another 15 gallons of clear water later, and we've got it pretty much taken care of. Now I'm going to explain to you what happened. This is why you don't break your own rules, and I broke several of my own rules today. So actually what happened, I pretty much deserved it. Thankfully we didn't lose any gold. The foils, these foils are heavy enough. Only 2 foils with that big blowout and that big mess coming out, only 2 foils landed right here, and they stayed there. The rest of the foils and the metal actually stayed in the jar. Now for starters, that bucket right there that holds our ceramics, I should have just not done anything today. I should have actually just did some editing or whatever, because if you remember right, we started with that bucket here. Okay, it was raining on and off, and the rain was blowing in here. So right where that white bottle sits is where my burner usually is. Now I'm going to try and show you something right quick. Do you see that little blue, my little pickle pot up there? You see the angle on that fluid? It's going that way. That is because I built that part of the bench purposely pitching downhill. And I only use my burner where that white acid container is, or HCl bottle is, because of an event such as what happened. If there's a boil over or something like that, this goes downhill, so everything will go out and away. If you notice, this is fairly level except for where it's getting worn right here, where it pulls down. That is where I had my burner because of the rain, because it was raining in here, so I moved it over here a little bit. Mistake number 1. Mistake number 2 is I was cleaning this stuff. I was moving this to and fro out in the yard further and back in because of the weather and the wind. Like I said, I actually started with it right here in the floor with the fans blowing it out. I had wind blowing it back in, so I couldn't have that, so I ended up taking it and putting it out in the yard. I was taking the foils that were loose from the other container, the other one that didn't boil over, and I was pulling the metal plates out of that and cleaning that up, getting the foils ready. So I had a bunch of things going on at one time. Okay. Next, probably the main rule I broke. I have just a personal rule. It's not something that's, set in stone for anybody. This is my own personal rule. If I am going to boil nitric acid, that's as high as I have it in a beaker. Okay, 250 milliliters. I might push it to 300 milliliters. But right in here, right about where this is, okay, that beaker was way up here with dilute nitric acid because I hadn't really planned on boiling it. What I was going to do was just warm it and then let it sit. But I got caught up in that. I got caught up in this. I got caught up in this camera. And you saw what happened. Fortunately, I was able to get away from it. Because it was inside here. I mean, I had 2 back fans going, which was also good, but I still had to run away from it. Because what happened is because this was inside, under the roof, instead of forward where it could go out, all that Knox just went right up like this and just rolled in a big circle going across the roof and coming down. So I had to get out of here and let it, all I could do was shut the burner off and run, because you know, you can't breathe Knox. and it was in a contained area. So these are things that can happen when you get complacent, and not necessarily complacent. I'm always careful, all right, but I was doing too many things at one time. Again, I hadn't planned on boiling that. I was never going to let it get that hot, but I put a beaker on the heat with about yay much nitric acid in it, dilute nitric acid. I don't care if it was 35%, I don't care if it was 20%, I don't care. I never do that. I did it. That gives you no room for a boil over. If that would have been down here, it would have stayed in the beaker. It would not have come out of that beaker. The only reason, in fact, it almost stopped for a split second, and then it went ahead and gushed out because there was no other place for it to go. If it would have been down here where it should have been, it never would have came out of the beaker, even though it as volatile as that boil over was. So anyway, guys, that's what went on. I spent about 2 hours out here cleaning up. I'm not going to fool with any more of that till tomorrow, and if it's raining, I'm not going to fool with it then. I was trying to get this done. I wanted to do this today because I felt pretty good, and I just made a mistake right from the beginning trying to do it with the wind and the rain. It's not that important. So anyhow, I think we're getting a little long in the tooth in this video. Even if we're not, I'll close off with these 2 beakers full of gorgeous foils, and I will say to you, be careful. Especially don't break your own rules like I did. So guys, take care, stay safe, and we will see you in the next video.